This is a speaker meeting. We are delighted to have Richard from Sweden to share his experience, strength, and hope with us tonight. But before we do that, I would like to introduce Terry from Arizona to introduce the speaker. Welcome, Terry.
I'm Terry, I'm an addict. Wow, what a convention so far, and it's only Friday night. So, something strange happened on my way to the grave. In November of 1982, a handful of people got together to unite to try to find a solution for this addiction that was destroying people, especially where they were in Hollywood, with this new drug that many thought was non-addictive called cocaine. They weren't wanted in AA. NA didn't think it was addictive. And there they were being laid to waste by this horrible disease. Some of the people from those first meetings are here at our convention with us. One of those first members is at home, probably watching on Skype right now or on Zoom, and that's Ken C. He's fighting a wicked battle with cancer. And so, yeah, Ken, we love you. And with great gratitude, we're here praying for you. So in November of 82, this fellowship happened, and then it started to spread like wildfire. And then across the ocean, and it found its way into Europe. It found its way into Sweden, into Holland, and from there it continued its beautiful mission of bringing love and hope to those who are suffering from this horrible disease. So the man who gets to speak tonight, Richard, is a unique man. More than 21 years ago, his life was touched by Cocaine Anonymous. And over the past 21 years, he has never backed down, never backed away. He travels the world and serves our fellowship in the kindest and most loving ways. So anybody that knows the history of Europe knows that the Vikings wreaked hell on Europe. Well, tonight we have Richard from Sweden, one of those Vikings, to share a story of love and hope for all of us. So I'd like to introduce Richard to come on up tonight and share his love with us. Where are you at, Richard?
Oh my God. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, my name is Richard. I'm a recovered addict. I'm so grateful to be here with you all guys. Like, I spoke to some people before, like, are you nervous? And like, the truth is, I'm really, really nervous. I don't mind speaking in front of people, but like, CA is so important for me. Like, this shit matters to me. You guys saved my life. And I owe everything I have in my life to CA and to you here tonight. I'm so grateful to be part of this fellowship and to be here and speak to you. And I actually realized that I've been at this hotel before. I was here in 2015 and spoke. It was the first time I spoke outside of Sweden. It was this hotel. I didn't know. It was a much, much smaller room way over there at that hotel. And I thought it was so big. I was like, are they going to let me speak in this big room? And then they had a banquet, which was in this rotunda, whatever it's called. And it was a bigger room. And Russell spoke in that room. I was like, fuck, he has a bigger room than me. But now, 9 years later, it's an even bigger room. That's amazing. I will try to share my strength, experience, and hope with you. I'll try not to lie and try not to impress you, because this is being honest is not my usual thing. I actually have to work for this. My whole childhood was just trying to fit in and try to impress you. But I'll try to keep it as honest as I can. Sometimes I hear people coming into this meeting and say, like, I want to be the person I was before I started using alcohol and drugs. And I always think about that. Who was this person? I don't have any memory of a nice person before I would start using drugs or alcohol. In fact, my first memory is me in the back seat of a car with my mom driving from my grandma's house up in north of Sweden down to my city. We were driving down there. We stopped at the gas station for some gas. We went in to pay. I stole some candy in the gas station. I was 4 years old. I was sitting in the back seat again, eating my candy. Like, it's no problem. And my mom saw me in the rear mirror, like, where did you get that candy from? I said, I took it from the gas station. And she got so angry with me. She stopped the car, she drove over, took my candy, threw it out in the woods, and you're like, oh, you're not allowed to do that. I did not raise you that way. What do you think? You can't steal candy from the store. Like, I get into the car again, we have to go home. And it was really like a tense mood in the car. Like, I was sitting there. She was so angry. We started to drive. Maybe 20 minutes later, she calmed down and like, it's a little bit better. Things like, sorry I yelled so much at you. My mom said, like, you're really not supposed to do that, like steal things. Are you really sad that I threw away your candy out in the woods? And I said, no, it's okay. I got more. That is my first memory. I have no memory of this nice guy before starting using cocaine and some other shit. Like, the only memory I have of my childhood is these two things. I want to be the best, and I want to say to you what I think you want to hear. If you ask me a question, I look at you and like, what do you want me to answer now? I try to give you that answer. I do not try to do the thing I say. I just want you to fuck off so I can go and do whatever I want. I'm an expert at lying and like fitting in and understanding what you want from me. It's my two memories. I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to say to you what I thought you wanted to hear. And that was really weird for me. When I started school, I was not the best at kind of anything, you know. I could convince myself I was the best, but I was just with my mom. I was the only child, and I didn't have so much competition. I was the best. But when I started school, there was so many other people there. They were doing like Swedish, English, math, geography, and all these kind of things, and they were really good. And I was not the best anymore. And I didn't like it. Because I want to be the best. And I didn't really understand this concept of like that the teachers were there to teach me things. I actually thought they were there to test me. Every time somebody asked me a question in the school, I thought it was a test. They're going to test me, see if I'm good enough, if I'm good enough to fit in, if I can be here. And I always try to fit in. I try to say what I thought they wanted to hear from me all the time. And as I grew up, there was less and less thing I could be the best of. I was quite good at math, but I was not the best. I was quite good at English. I was not the best. I was quite good at geography, not the best. Quite good at gymnastics, not the best. But I didn't like myself. But one thing happened, a really nice thing. I was 13 years old. I was beginning to start school next week. We were home alone at my friend's place. The parents were out. We were there. What are we going to do? And he said this brilliant idea, let's have a party. And I was like, what is a party? What do we do? Like, I never been drunk. I tried alcohol, but I never like drank it. And he said, let's have a party. So we ran around some friends. They all come there. We buy some beers. I was sitting in the sofa, having a beer. I drank it. Not tasted it. I was drinking it. You can see the smile. Like, it was like some warm thing just coming down my body. Like, I like this. You know what? I took another one. And it got even better. I took 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, like in like 1.5 hours. I'm, wow, this is so nice. And I started getting this feeling like this, everything's gonna be okay. I don't really care anymore about you. And then I got a new feeling in my stomach, like, whoa, another kind of warmth, like. So I was running out to the bathroom. This could be his head, like he actually run. I was running to the bathroom, but of course it was always locked. Somebody was already inside there puking. So I was running through the apartment, like. And I came from the living room, like, I started to puke just all over this place, just everywhere, just running over, like, to the balcony and open it, just puke. I was hanging there, get to the bed, and I puked for like 6 hours straight. Like, puke, puke. I couldn't fucking move. And I was laying there in the bed, couldn't even move, and like, I didn't like the puke, but I liked the feeling, I was like, it's not perfect, but it is something here, I just need to figure this shit out. So even as I was laying there puking, I had this feeling inside of me like, I think we have something here. You might not even believe it, but a girl came down in the bed with me and had my first sexual experience that night. And it convinced me that this is the fucking solution, yeah? I was so happy, like, yeah! So like, I started to think like, I'm not gonna drink as much as quick, because if you do that, you puke. But like, maybe you have to drink a little bit slower. Maybe have some wine to mix it with. Maybe have some other alcohol, some cognac, some vodka, whatever. So like, I was 30 years old and I began this quest of trying to master the alcohol. Because I knew that feeling I had just before I got really, really sick was so nice. And I wanted to have it back. So like, I only drank on weekends because I was 14 years old, and it was a normal thing where I grew up. Everybody lived with their mom, no dads. Dads came and went, like, but moms, and like, you don't like your work, you go to work to get money, and when you have the money, you come home and you drink Friday, Saturday. That was my life. Everybody did that. That was the solution. So I was thinking the whole fucking week, like, how to get alcohol, because in Sweden you have to be 18 to buy alcohol. So that was the first problem. I sold that, just steal the alcohol. It was the first figured that out. I'm like, how am I gonna drink tonight? Am I gonna drink a lot, drink a little, drink fast? How? And every weekend I try to like this way, this way, this way. But I never find that thing again, And this being the best didn't work for me anymore. But I find another solution. You could be a criminal and violent guy, because the only thing you needed to be the best in that business was being willing to go longer than the other guy. And it was more important for me to be the best than it was for you. So it worked for me. I did it for 13, 14, 15, 16. I started to steal shit. I started to break in. I got caught by the police like 10 times in 1 month because they knew me. They actually just stopped the car, like, Richard, what are you up to? Like, nothing. It's famous in my small little town, like this crazy guy who was always drinking and stealing and doing stupid shit. And my mom started to cry because she thought it was her fault. It was not my mom's fault. Like, she did everything she could do. I was born this fucking way. She was a good mom. There's nothing wrong with my childhood in that way. I was born this way. I did not have any other solution. The alcohol, the drugs, the criminal things was a solution for me. It made me sane, you know? So we couldn't live in this small town. We moved to Stockholm. Like a really smart idea, yeah. Much bigger town, much better crimes. But I thought, let's not go down this criminal path because my mom is crying so much. I didn't want to make her cry. I actually love my mom, still love my mom. So I just began to drink. Let's fast forward. Stopped school, started working in the restaurant. I was 18 years old. And you know what? At the restaurant, you can actually drink almost every day. That was so great. You can drink Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, not okay. Tuesday, maybe. And I had all these friends I can start drinking with. But I was still in this quest of trying to find the absolute right amount of alcohol. And I tried some different things. I tried everything that came my way, you know. The first time somebody asked me, I was down in Spain for a summer holiday, and somebody asked me, you want to try some marijuana or some hash? I was like, yeah, sure. I took that, and I smoked, and I hold it, because I've seen it in the movies. Oh, and I hold it, and I think, you should slow down, Richard. I'm like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna drink all this. And sorry if I swear much. I learned how to speak English from like the Hollywood movies, and they always swear. It's not my fault, you know? It's America's fault. But fuck you! Sorry, America. I know you love here. Love you too. Fuck you! I'll not stop smoking. I smoke all this joint and like got this feeling inside me I couldn't even breathe, you know, like I couldn't stop breathing. I couldn't get any air because I was trying like, I was like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And I was in the street and I puked again and like, oh, I'm gonna die. And my friends tried to help me and like, oh, I'm gonna die. It's like, okay, hashish is not the solution. Back to alcohol. And then some other guy came like, we should try these benzodiazepines, these pills, you know, it's super nice. I took these pills, said, take one, like, oh, take some more because if I find something I like, I want to have a lot of it, you know. I took them, I blacked out, I woke up in like a ski resort north of Sweden, having breakfast like this, honest to truth, like, poof, wake up. Breakfast, glass of juice, 2 sandwiches, one of my friends, 2 guys I don't know, snow outside, restaurant setting, like. No clue what happened there, but I kept it cool, you know? Yeah, what are we doing today? So that's not either the solution. I started to drink more and more and more, but my life was okay, you know? It was manageable, for sure. It was manageable. But then one day something happened. I was out drinking with my friends, somebody asked like, that guy has a cocaine, should we buy some? Well, yeah, let's buy some. We bought a gram of cocaine, went into the toilet, 3 guys, me and 2 of my best friends. You know, this toilet seat, there's piss everywhere, this fucking disco thing, like we put it down and we smack this shit up and like go down in the piss, you know. It's the first time I'm doing this, going down in the piss, you know, like. It didn't occur to me if it's a bad idea. Like, how much should you take? Like, just split it in 3. I'm sorry, guys, but I know this feeling was like, but it was so fucking amazing. I won't lie, it was so amazing. I just went out to this toilet like this, you know. I went out to the bar like, I spoke so fast and I drank that much. I was like, wow, my friend's like, you have to calm down, Richard, calm down. Like, fuck you! Yeah! Because for the first time in my fucking life, I was the best. I was the best. Right there. I found the solution. It's fucking cocaine, you know. It took me 11 years to find. I have found it. You know that feeling? Like, I can't lie. It was so fucking good, you know. Like, let's do it again. That night, my friends took me home to his place because apparently I couldn't be in this restaurant with people looking at us. I black out. I wake up in the back seat of a car like this again. But I'm used to it now. It happened before. Like the sun was up. It was like 10 in the morning. My friends were sitting there like, what are we doing? Like acting as nothing happened. And they were sitting like, hey, what are we doing? Like, no, are you back? What do you mean I'm back? In the back seat of the car, like, what do you mean? Like, oh, fuck, you have been so fucked up. You tore down my whole apartment, you drank all my liquor, you took out your dick and you fucked the TV. We had to take you out of my apartment. We've been driving around with you for hours. Just to like, not you hurting us or anybody. Like, we're like, you know what? I didn't care a shit about that. because I had fine cocaine. And that was the solution. It was so nice. I was like, let's do it again. And they were like, fuck no, we're not doing that with you again, but I find other friends. I was 24 years old. My life was quite good. I had like a girlfriend, I had an apartment, I had a job, I had friends, I had money. Things were working for me. And now I had the cocaine as well. So I started to take it only when I was out like big partying, like in the real discotheques. I was taking that, it was so good, it was the best, it was na 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 na. And then I started to use it some more and some more and some more. And then every time I was out and all the time. And then when I started to work, but I didn't want to like, don't want to do too much. Never before 8 o'clock, okay? 8 o'clock. If you take it before 8 o'clock, then you're fucking drug addicts. So if anybody took any drugs before 8 o'clock, you're fucked. I have rules. I got this shit. So 8 o'clock, going into the dressing room, taking the first line, schmack. Getting super high, super happy. Can only take once an hour, otherwise, you're an addict. But it starts to wear out before an hour, you know. So next time, 9 o'clock, you take some more. But it gets super pumped, you know, so you have to drink some wine. So I have a basket of wine that I stole in my locker. So I take the bottle of wine, I open it, I drink a little bit, and I go out work. 10 o'clock, back. But now I'm drunk and it's wearing off. So I have to have more. But then I get so high, so I have to more wine. So then it's getting really like hard to like get it right. But after 12, you can do whatever fuck you like. So, and I can see the goal line, like 12. It's getting there. Soon we can just go for it. I'm gonna be all right. And it only took like 9 months or something before all my money was gone. I couldn't do it anymore. I had all this debt. So I come to the conclusion I have to change job. Yeah, it's it works. It's only this works fault, you know. So I changed the job. What happened? They had cocaine there as well. Apparently, I changed job again and again and again. My girlfriend left me. New girlfriend came. She left me. New girlfriend. His girlfriend's wrong. It's my friend's fault. I'm trying to get away from all this shit because I'm getting like a feeling like maybe I cannot master this anymore, you know? And I get a little bit scared, like, because the money was actually the biggest problem for me at the time. So I thought. So I had more and more debt. So like, maybe I can start smoking marijuana instead. It's so much cheaper, you know? So I started to smoke marijuana instead. But I really don't like that shit. You get slow in the head and you get red eyes and it's really hard to wake up the other day. And like, I did that for a couple of weeks, but I was, oh no, let's do that. Maybe we can do amphetamine instead, but it's also much cheaper. So I bought like shit out of amphetamine. I took that for like 10 days or something. I slept a little bit, like 15 minutes there and like some there. And then the amphetamine was out of amphetamine. I tried to call my dealer, but he was busy. I tried to call him and I felt worse and worse and worse. I got these things happening with my arm and like the chest was like, oh, so my friend, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't know, there's something wrong with me. You know, you have to call like 911 and like speak to somebody. I like 112. Like, I called them and like described my symptoms, and they were like, "Sounds really weird. How old are you?" I'm 26. It sounds like you have like a heart attack or anything, like, but you're maybe too young. Can you think of any reason why you might have a heart attack? Like, if I haven't slept for like 8 days and took amphetamines the whole time, could that be something like, you have to get in? So I was super scared, like having a heart attack. I'm 26 years old, like, fuck, going to the hospital, like taking all these tests and like blah, blah, blah things. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have a panic attack. And I was like, you fucking dealer. It was his fault, no. If he has just came with the fucking amphetamines a little bit faster, I didn't have this fucking panic attack in the hospital. I make a fucking fool out of myself because my fucking dealer couldn't just deal to me. I thought it was your job doing that shit. Fuck him. But apparently that was not the solution either. So it was back to the cocaine again. Maybe it took one more year. Like I was 24 years old the first time I tried. I was 26 the last time I did it. And I tried all this different work, tried all these different friends. I had this girlfriend that I promised not to use for because she didn't want me to use. And you know what I do? I tell people what I think they want to hear. So I told her, I will stop for you. And I continued. Of course, I continued using. So I had this girlfriend, had this work. And I promised myself, today I will not use. This is the last time. But then I got an idea. Let's stop tomorrow instead. Call the dealer, you know the drill, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you can do whatever the fuck you like. I was sitting there with my friends, with two friends, sitting in an apartment. It was 2003. My last time I was using was 2003, 21 years ago. I was sitting there in my apartment with the two friends, the only people I had left. I was like, this is the last time I'm going to use. We have to take all the drugs now because I'm not going to use again. Do all the drugs. Going to sleep, wake up 2 p.m., go to work. Promise myself I will not use today. Like 2 hours later, I was using again. And you know this, but like the feeling of being the best was not there anymore, anywhere. Even if I was the only guy in the room, I was not the best anymore. I was sitting there like trying to figure out how to survive this shit because my life sucked. I have all the debts. I was stealing from everybody. I couldn't stop. I promised myself again and again and again and again to not use today. And every time I broke my own promise to myself, and every time I did that, I hated myself a little bit more. And I started to understand, like, I'm gonna die. It's not gonna be fast, it's not gonna be beautiful, it's not gonna be anything like that, but I'm dying, and I cannot stop. I tried to travel, like I go to vacation for 2 weeks. I didn't use any cocaine for these 2 weeks because I didn't know anybody there. I was drinking the whole time. I came back, I thought, I made it 2 weeks without cocaine. You know what happened? It took 2 hours and I had the cocaine again. And I started to hate myself even more. And the 25th of February 2003, I was sitting with my girlfriend at the big house that she had. It was a parents' house. We were working somewhere over in Prague. I had cocaine, I had downers to sleep on, I had shitload of alcohol, I even had some ecstasies on me, but I couldn't fill the hole inside of me anymore. It was like 2 a.m. in the night, and I was sitting at this kitchen table, it was just us two there. I went to the toilet, I took so much cocaine, and I just felt empty. And I sat down to her and I said, I'm addicted to cocaine and I cannot stop. And I think it was the first time in my whole life I was honest about something. It was the honest truth. I'm addicted to cocaine and I cannot stop. And it was nothing beautiful about this moment. It was nothing amazing. There was no fucking God there or anything. I was just giving up because I knew my life was over. I had these ideas, maybe I should do like, maybe I could become a bank robber instead, because the money was still a problem. Like the bank robbers are cool, like they're going in with the guns and give me the money, that's cool. But no, I'm too scared for that shit. I thought maybe I could kill myself, but that didn't really do it for me. I thought about it, but like, nah. Maybe I can say I'm a gambling addict, because money was a big problem. Like, if you're a gambling addict, it's not my fault. It's the fucking gaming companies, you know, they do this to people. So I thought maybe I can be a gambling addict for a couple of months. But for some reason, I said to her, I'm addicted to cocaine and I cannot stop. And for the first time in my life, I was honest. And when I said that, I started to cry. Like, I just cried. Because I knew my life was over. I had tried everything I could think of, but my life was over. I didn't have any fucking solution. I didn't have any hope. I didn't have anything about that. I just admitted to myself that my life was unmanageable, and I knew it was over. And I started to cry. I was crying for like 5 hours. I was laying there crying, because I knew it was over. And she had to tell your parents. I went to my mom's house and I said to her, I'm addicted to cocaine. I cannot stop. And she didn't have a clue. She's like, huh? I told my stepfather, I'm addicted to cocaine. Cannot stop. And by the way, I've stolen 20,000 euros from you. I'm sorry. And he was like, huh? I went to my father and said, I'm addicted to cocaine. I cannot stop. And he said, I don't think you're a real cocaine addict. They do things that you haven't done. I started to cry. And they told me I had to go to treatment. You know what I do? I do what people want me to do. I said, what do you want me to do now? So I went to this treatment house, treatment lady, and said, I'm addicted to cocaine and I cannot stop. I knew that much. It was the only thing I knew. I didn't know anything else about it. And she said, okay, come. We do urine tests twice a week. We come speak every week. You do this. And my girlfriend at the time, she was working at the bar and I was in the restaurant. So she was giving me alcohol the whole time because it helped me for the abstinence of the cocaine. Like, I need more alcohol. And she was, yeah, you need more alcohol. Like, so I was super drunk because alcohol, I didn't have any problem with alcohol, you know, it was just a fucking cocaine. Like, I didn't have any problem with amphetamine as long as the dealer was coming. I didn't like, it was just the cocaine. But you know what? She started to go to some fucking codependency treatment. That's not really. At first, I liked it because you know what they told her? Yeah, Richard is fucking crazy. Yeah, but you choose to be with Richard, and that's fucking on you. And I said, yeah, I like this codependency treatment, you know? But then it only took a couple of more months, and they said, like, Richard needs to stop using alcohol because apparently alcohol is also a drug. I didn't like this codependency shit anymore. But what do? I do what I think people want me to do. So I stopped drinking alcohol. It was a Friday the 13th, 2003. I wanted to be a big thing about it. I wanted to go to a fancy restaurant, have these nice cocktails and 5-course dinners with wine package. I ended up in some shitty pub in Old Town Stockholm basement, playing like this really cheap machines, you know. My last time drinking. Sometimes it was like, was the right place to be? It was my home turf, so to speak. So I was there. I stopped using cocaine. I stopped using alcohol. I stopped using at this restaurant because everybody I knew were using. I didn't have any fucking friends because all my friends were drug addicts, alcoholics, or criminals. I couldn't be with them anymore. I had to change jobs. So I found a job out in an island because I thought maybe nobody can come up there. And I was sitting home not drinking. You know what? My life was exactly as fucking boring as I knew it would be. I knew it would suck not to do alcohol and drugs. I didn't have any solution. I just take away the alcohol and drugs. I was sitting there home a Friday night watching some stupid TV, some guys dancing, what the fuck they're doing, like some. Is this it? How am I supposed to meet new friends now? Do I go to a fucking library or what? Like, what are you reading? Like, how do you do that sober? And I asked my treatment therapist, like, how long do I have to do this urine test anymore? And she said, you don't have to do it anymore. You've been clean for 6 months. I said, okay, so stop doing there. And I thought that meant I was recovered. Because I didn't use any drugs, I didn't use any alcohol, didn't have to do the urine test anymore. So I thought I was getting recovered. And I was sitting there with my therapist. But I came there, I was totally broken, just wanted to be the best and wanted to please people. And I started to try to please this therapist. You know how I please people? I lied to them. You know what? She believed me. And I felt good. Because maybe, just maybe, I'm smarter than the therapist. So I started to lie some more and some more and some more, and it worked. And now I was getting convinced I am smarter than the therapist. You know how fucking insane that is? To pay somebody to help you, and then you lie to them about your problem, and then you think you're smarter than them. So I stopped going to her because I was recovered, treated. And the feeling of wanting to be the best again came to me, but I couldn't be the best in the old ways. I had to go back to school and prove to everybody that I am really smart, even if I'm not using. So I was going to school, I was studying like for 14 hours a day, like studying, like proving for you that I am the best and getting highest fucking grades in everything. I started to go to the Royal Institute of Technology and study applied physics because they promised me it was the hardest thing to study in Sweden. And I just did it to impress you guys. You know what? Nobody fucking cared. It was just in my head. And I continued to lie all the time. The only thing I took in away was the alcohol and the drugs. Just continued to lie all the time. There's nothing was my fault. It was all these faults. The fucking professor was stupid, he couldn't teach me, blah, 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 blah. I was lying again all the time. And my girlfriend said, you have to stop looking at porn. And what do? I tell her what I think she wants to hear. You know, this was back in 2003. You actually had to download porn back to the computer. That's the old school thing. So it was proof all over the computer, and she found it. And she got so angry with me. And like when I stopped going to treatment, she continued her fucking codependency treatment. So now, like, you promised me, we set a rule, you broke it, this is not okay. And I was like, what? Like this girl was waiting for me for 3 like full days when I was out using. And now I lied about some porn, and that was a big fucking thing. Apparently, have to do what you say you do or something. I don't know. Fucking hated this codependency things. And she forced me back to the fucking therapists again. And I do what I think she wants me to do. So back to therapy. You know what they said? You have to go to 12 steps meeting. What do? I do what I think people want me to do. So I go to the 12 steps meeting. I have all this list, NA, AA, DAA, and I go to new meetings every fucking time. And I've been sober for over a year, so I'm kind of like, that's cool, you know. Thinking about alcohol every fucking day. Like, when can I use again? When can I use again? When can I use again? Come to this meeting, new meeting every time because I didn't want anybody to know me. Sometimes anybody has any time, like, how many know me? I have 1 year, I get applause, like, whoa! Like, go to new meetings. Does anybody know me here? I have 1 year, I get applause. And like, new meeting all the time. But something happened. I went to this AA meeting, lunch meeting. I saw on the wall, like, Cocaine Anonymous. We're here, we're free. Thursday night, 7. I'm like, have they made a meeting for me? I have to go there. So like 3-4 weeks later, I was there. No idea to rush it, you know. I waited a couple of weeks. I went there. It was the summertime of 2004. I got in. There was 2 people in there. One with a desire to stop using and one with 2 months. I had over a year. Huh? You know what that means? I was the best. So I liked CA. There was no people there. Like I came to this fucking CA meeting every week with like 3 to maybe 10 people in a really big meeting. So you can share for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. Like, but I just talk about all the shit in my life. This fucking guy and that fucking guy and that shit. My girlfriend, my professor, blah, 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 blah. Whining, whining, whining. You know what they said? Keep coming back. And I came back. But there was one guy, it was really cool, this guy. He was walking in like this, about, bam, 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 like, fuck, I wanted him to be my friend. So I tried to get closer to him, like, wanted to be his friend. I was like, do you need a sponsor, Richard? And I don't know, like, yeah, why not? I can sponsor you. Like, come back to my house. And I came back to his house. I thought, we're going to be friends. And you know what that fucking guy did to me? He took up a blue little book and he read it for like 1.5 hours. And he said, come back next week. So I took the book. I read the whole fucking book until I came. I came back. I already read the book. It's no problem. And he said, yeah, good. And he continued to read again. Like, oh, fuck. So I ditched that friendship. Went back to the CA meeting, whining again. But then we had a convention in Sweden, 2006. We had a regional assembly. There were coming people from Holland, from UK, from Germany, from Hong Kong. Yeah. And I was sitting there listening to these shares, you know. And these guys came in. It was just not one guy. It was many guys coming in like this. And like they owned the place. Like, I want to be like these guys. What have they done? And I listened to these shares about this crazy English guy speaking about his life and blah, 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 and God. And like, I was like, what the fuck is he speaking about? Then another crazy English guy was standing there speaking, blah, blah. I had a workshop about the steps. It was like maybe 30, 40 people in the audience, but the treatment center was like the CA thing. Like, anybody had any questions? It was nobody had any questions. Because nobody has done the step, I guess. And like, is anybody doesn't have a sponsor here that needs a sponsor? I didn't fucking raise that arm, you know, but it was up there. And all my CA friends just looked at me because I've been sober for 2 years. And I was like, kind of cool, you know, but I thought, don't you even have a sponsor? Like, no. And then this guy about, I'm going to speak to you after this meeting. I'm like, oh, fuck. So he came up like, tell me, how long have you been sober? I've been sober for 2 years. I told him 3 years. And he said, good for you. But let me ask you a question. I will never forget this question. Let me ask you a question. I said, but are you happy? And he felt like he fucking kicked me in his balls or his stomach. Like I've been sober for 3 years. I have the highest grade of everything. I'm studying fucking applied physics. I was starting to train. Like, I come into this fucking meeting. Like, do you know who I am? Like, what the fuck do you mean? But are you happy? But I knew, like, no, I am not happy. And I told him no. And he said, I'm going to get you a sponsor. And that guy flew over for England, told his story so I could get a moment of clarity. And he got me a sponsor that day. And this time when I sat down with the sponsor, I did not try to befriend. I actually listened to when the guys said to me. I listened, I wrote, I listened, I wrote. When he asked me to do the second step or first step, are you powerless? Yes. Can you believe in something bigger? Yes. Are you willing to give your life? Yes. Did my fourth step, my fifth step, was get down to my knees and understood like, God did not make a fucking mistake when he made me either. My God is all powerful and almighty. And when he created me, he created a really good guy, Richard. And I have been trying to please you all my life instead of trying to just please my God. And I understood that when I did my fear inventory. And I felt this feeling inside of me that's coming up like, and I started to laugh. And I think it was the first time in my life I just laughed because I was happy. I laughed when somebody fall down or something like that before, but like I was just happy because I was giving the choice right there in that moment. Like, yes, Richard, you had a shit life. We all agree you had a shit life, but you don't have to have that shit life anymore. You now have a choice. If you're going to go back to your shit life or you're going to do the steps that's outlined in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I choose to do the 12 steps. I choose to be happy now. And I made that choice that day, and I continue to make that choice every fucking morning I wake up. Because I know that that is the solution. The drug was a solution for some time, but I've been sober for like 2 years. I know that being sober is not my solution. Could be a good start, but it's not my solution. I went to meetings for over a fucking year just whining about my shit life. I know that's not my solution. I sat down with a sponsor, tried to be friend with him. I know that is not my solution. I sat down with a sponsor and actually did what he suggested, and my life got amazing. I went home, did my 6-7 step. They got even better. And I heard about something I called a convention in the UK, in Brighton, 2006. I booked it and went down to Brighton. I come to like a room of like this, like 800 happy, joyous, and free addicts just raving. Like, it was like, what? Is this even possible, you know? I didn't sleep the whole fucking weekend. I was drinking Red Bull, go to marathon meetings all the time. I was like, because when I find a solution, I want more. I don't settle for a little bit. I want it all. I missed my flight home, but I didn't fucking care because I found a new solution. Yeah, I was sober for almost 3 years before I found this fucking solution. And it took me like 2 weeks to get the solution. The only thing necessary was me getting down and actually listen to another guy who had walked before me. How could that be so hard for me? I heard about the cruise to celebrate CA 25 years, going down from Los Angeles down to Mexico. I'm going. I went to this fucking cruise, and I met Terry for the first time, and Father John. We sat on this big boat, and it was 2008. Terry was there, Father John, and some other father, Mike, I think his name was. And we spoke about CA Sweden and CA, and I was like, it was so amazing. And Terry told me like, oh, this is amazing. Imagine you being in Sweden now, getting to see CA grow around you. And like, I was like, you fucking idiot. Like, that guy had all the money in the world. He just bought a t-shirt for like $5,000 or something. He was apparently like, he had some money. He had not one, but 2 fucking priests rolling with him. He had this big fellowship. He said, I envy you. Like, are you fucking idiot? If I had what you have, I wouldn't have any problem in the world. But you know what? He was absolutely right. Because I have been in Sweden since it was just 1 meeting, and now it's 130 meetings in Sweden. You know what? And I met the first guys from Holland. It was just like a couple of meetings back in 2006 for coming there. Now it's what, 170 meetings or something in Holland? You know what? This shit is working. Just look around in this room. Just look around in this room. It's that one addict listened to another addict and actually doing what's supposed, what's suggested to them. And it's working, it grows and it grows and it grows. And we're getting happy, joyous, and free. It's that fucking simple. I heard about this at this cruise that they had a retreat coming up in England. So I went to that retreat because I want more. And what CA have given me is friends all over the world, everywhere I go, like all this place. Because I want more. And it all starts with one addict helping another addict. You know what? The first meeting was started in Sweden, but one person. One person had an idea, maybe I should start a meeting. The first CA meeting in the world was started by one person. Maybe I should start a new meeting because I'm not welcome in this meeting. I bet CA Netherlands was started by one person also. This convention was started by one person having an idea, like first getting an idea, then ask a friend, can you help me? Same thing as you do when you do the steps, like I want help, can you help me? Somebody get one idea and ask a friend to help them. We need to remember that nothing of this had been possible if not one person got this idea and had the courage to actually try to pursue that. Like CA is not growing because we have so many old timers in CA. We are growing because the newcomers are coming to CA and are getting a solution. And we need to never, ever forget that. We are not here to follow any fucking rules or guidelines or anything of that. That's good shit. Sorry, trustees, you're all here. That's really good shit. But we are here to help the newcomers. And we need to let the newcomers do whatever they want to do because they know what the other addicts using out there needs. I don't fucking know that. I haven't been using for 21 years. I don't even know what name of the drugs anymore. The newcomers know this. The old fucks like me, and Terry, you old fuck, we are here to fix it if it's broken. All the trustees are here to fix it if it's broken. We are not here to tell you how to do this. We are here to help all of us to help CA continue to grow. And take this weekend, this World Convention, this opportunity to meet some new people, help some new people, and get some help doing this crazy idea that you have that might help another addict out there still suffering. Meet some new people. Don't sit with your old friend just jabbering around about war stories. Actually go out there and meet new people. There's a whole fucking world out there with sober addicts and still using addicts. Like, do you know how precious this thing is? Do you know how lucky we are, the guys in this room, the girls in these rooms? This is not for granted. We are all here just because somebody took the time of their day and actually helped somebody that needed it when they needed it the most. And this is what I mean. This is actually matters. What we are doing here this weekend matters. Not like what we are doing, what you are doing. You can make a difference this weekend. Take that opportunity. Make that difference. Ask for help or give help. Because we are CA. It's not they, that, or something else. It's we in this room. We have the possibility to make this even greater and to continue to grow as it has done. And I am so forever grateful for everything that CA has given me, for letting me come into this fucking stupid I was stupid. This meeting every week and just whine about my shitty life, and they just said, keep coming back. Because if you hadn't done that to me, I wouldn't be here. If that guy hadn't traveled over to Stockholm to spread his message, I wouldn't be here. When somebody asks me, can you do this? I will actually really try to do it if I think it can help anybody. Because I know there is a solution. We can recover. One day at a time, it's possible to live a life filled with hope, faith, and courage. Thank you.